Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. I'm a sleepy Paul
Hey,
B today.
there you
He,
go,
he's
Sleepy
buddy to
Paul.
God. Yep. Sleepy Paul's what they call me. Welcome on to a fresh edition on this Monday. It is the 13th of April, 2026. Fresh edition starting now. First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Once again, welcome. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey,
Here with all of the chat chimers, ghost listeners, and monitoring spirits that are out here today. We appreciate you joining us on this Monday, and let us know how you're doing. Come on in the chat. If you're on Facebook, share the show. If you're on YouTube, share the link. And let's go ahead and get this party started. How you feeling over there today, buddy?
man, feeling good, feeling rested. Had a decent weekend. It was beautiful outside. Beautiful weekend. Sun was shining. Yeah.
We had a little bit of that ourselves. It was very, very nice. I was in all weekend, pretty much, not really getting out in it, but I did see some folks rolling around and just getting outside. I saw that on my feed as well. Yeah, it's a different
Okay.
place around here when the sun is out. That's for sure.
Yeah. It seems like you got out a little bit when the sun wasn't out. Dipped the toe in the water a little bit. Shout out to
Yeah,
Dreamland. I saw some pictures and things. My man Aggie Kid on the ones and twos. Yeah, let us know
yeah,
if you made it out.
that was good. My man Dalmar out there, Augie Kid, getting down, man. He got some new tracks coming. We
Hey,
definitely have to, yeah, you got to
hey.
dig in, man, for real. But yeah, Dreamland is turning out to be a spot you can really easily slide by the Dreamland Lounge, see what's happening for a minute. Grab a drink, pop in, pop out. I did a little popping around and just happened to run into my man Augie Kid, so that was a
Yeah.
nice surprise. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
didn't quite step out, just dipped the toe. Just dipped the
yeah,
toe.
yeah. just dipped a toe. Not a lot of stepping. Let us know how your weekend was. Let us know in the chat. Let us know on Friends of. Did you have a good time on your weekend? Spend some time with loved ones. What'd you do? Of course, we always have that Love Supreme Friday where we talk about, setting the intention for the weekend, which is
Hey,
if you have the ability, if you're not working on the weekends or whatever, spend a little time with each other and celebrate the life we're trying to fight for all the time. So, yeah, we highly encourage that. Would love to hear what happened on your weekend. I'm seeing in the chat, Pops giving us a good morning, good Monday morning, and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you,
okay,
Pops. Ariel's 402 said Bellevue checking in. Come on in, Bellevue.
okay.
Appreciate you, bro. Good morning to you. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Guy family, and happy motivational Monday. Yes, I'm with the motivation for sure. Leia in the chat is giving us a happy marvelous Monday. We're gonna have a marvelous motivational Monday today. I see.
There you go.
Mark Manner gives us a good morning. Good morning to you, bro. Also, Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Ariel's
Hey,
402 says, Pop life. What's the matter with your curl?
hey.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Marlon Harrison says, my cousin's prom was on Saturday. Man, was that Creighton Prep? Was that what I was seeing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Marlon Harrison, man about town.
Cuz was looking fresh with that white suit on. The ball clean shave.
So fresh and so clean. That's what's up.
Hey.
Yep. Well, appreciate that. Yeah, man. I see you went out, had a good time. Let us know again. Let us know who went out, had a good time. Hey, Stacey Jean. I'm seeing Stacey Jean in the chat. Good morning. Great weekend. I did nothing and it was great. Yeah.
Hey.
Gotta say that's my kind of weekend these days.
Yeah, sounds like a great time.
Yeah. Sounds like a great time indeed. Anybody catch up on rest, all that good stuff. Yeah,
Hey.
just let us know. We would love to hear about what's going on with your weekend, what went on with your weekend, that is, and what the intentions are for today. How are we going to set intentions on Monday in order to kind of get out and make a good week out of bad times,
Man.
which is we're constantly seeing and facing around here all the time. So it is what it is, though. This is part of this is for us to get motivated, like Marlon's saying, motivational Monday. Let's get it going.
Yeah, as they say, the weapon will form, but it shall not prosper. You know what I mean? You know what I
Ooh,
mean? You gotta
Bible
keep
quotes.
on pressing on a little bit, a little bit.
That's what's up. Well, we'll jump into a few little community updates. First and foremost, if you saw at the top of the show, we are anticipating our special guest today. We're going to have a special Senators Cypher with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh coming on in. She's always in the news, and we love talking to her because we get to speak for real, clear up some things, and understand where she's coming from. And if you were with us at last Senator Cypher, you heard Senator Ashley Spivey give her some big ups. And so I can't wait to ask her about that, and ask her about what's going on with her brother, John Cavanaugh. This
Man,
all over your feed right now in a big way.
lots of questions.
Lots of questions. Also, Leia Keister's in the chat, and you know what that means. A fresh edition of Swing Left Nebraska is out right now, the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Do I have the right? Is it week 15? Okay. Okay, yeah,
Is it?
let's see if I got the right one. Yeah, week 15. I thought week 15 was last week, but I don't know why I'm trying to figure something out. I'm going to read what's in front of me. Unpacking the Unicamera week 15. Available where you get your podcasts. Let us know what this episode is about, Leia Keister, if you're in the chat. But yeah, definitely check out Swing Left Nebraska podcast. Lots of good information about this really, really unique situation that we got here in Nebraska called our Unicamera. Understanding some things and also keeping up with what's happening there. Session is done, I believe, now, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless we got the senator coming through, as ask her directly.
Unless, yeah, exactly. Ariel 42 says Ice-T and Court from No Limit have their own streaming service, OG Network.
Really?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll check that out. Okay, definitely. I'm with that, man. That's what's up.
It's
Definitely
like
check it out.
movies.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, lots out there right now. We were kind of debating that on the before the show. Some of the other things that's going on around the country, even around different cities that we're interested in talking about. Want to know if you are. So we always have this constant talk about who we're talking to, and we really appreciate everybody's feedback and Friends of First Sky Omaha especially, and also all the emails and stuff that we get. You can always hit us up at firstsky@gmail.com. But any interaction that we get from you kind of tells us who we're speaking to and what we're going to speak about. So tell a friend, reach out if you have any questions, any comments, anything, where we're at. And let's really, dive deeper into the conversation like we will today.
Hey,
So, yeah, Ben, lots going on. Shout out to Miss Brenda Council. She got celebrated earlier in the week. So we appreciate that. We'll talk a little bit more about that and some more things that's happened too. Shout out to African Chamber. There's a lot of things going on in the community that we'll get into this show. So I'll hold that until that. But thanks for everybody who's putting things in Friends of First Sky Omaha for us to check before we come on to the show to make sure we know what we're talking about and all that good stuff. There's going to be lots more going on this week, and of course we'll have extensive haps on Friday. So with that, just let us know. Put things in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Send us emails. We would love to hear about what's going on this week, what's happening this coming weekend, even, and all that good stuff too. So we appreciate you. Also, Marlon Harrison says we had a great time talking about his prom, his cousin's prom. So we ate Olive Garden before we dropped them. I'm super happy that the weather held up on Saturday.
nice.
My sentiments exactly, man. There's a lot of good stuff that happened over the weekend just because the weather was better. So again, can't wait to hear about it. But in the meantime, between time, I'm throwing it over to Buddy. Let's talk about what today's thread is today as well. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Yeah, man, we are following the money. You kind of flashed it on the screen a little bit ago, starting off with affirmative, as I like to do here on the show. Giving a shout out to the Midland African Chamber, man. They're getting down. They're getting down. We are members of the chamber, but I'll be honest. We kind of got on people a little bit by not checking out the Revive Black Business Registry, and we haven't looked into the Midland African Chamber as much as we need to. So what I'm saying, we ain't just getting on y'all. I'm being honest. Like we kind of sleep on the chamber a little bit. So we're gonna talk about what they have going on, and if anybody has any more information on that, let's talk about it. So definitely going to get into that. Also, did anybody catch wind about this North Omaha housing meeting? Apparently, there's some individuals, some heads, some folks in the hood coming together to talk about home ownership. Continue the conversation that we have right here on First Sky Omaha. Again, following the money, building wealth, building a financial economic base for yourself and your family. Home ownership, is a part of that, a big part of that. So again, we're going to dive into the conversation, not just about that, but of course we talk about just about everything here on the show. As we mentioned, we will have a special Senator Cypher today with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh. We definitely have some things to get into with her, as Paul mentioned, maybe touching on what's going on with her brother. Of course, there was a debate over the weekend. Did anybody catch that? Again, Nebraska's second congressional district had a forum over the weekend. I'm seeing some people post on social media. let us know. Did you catch it? Did you watch? What you think? What you think? It is again 6 to dismiss. We are weeks away now from our midterm, so yeah, man, definitely looking out for those situations, but also looking back, as Paul mentioned, we are at the tail end on the other side of the legislative session, still trying to figure out what's going on with that. Of course, there's some education bills being, discussed. There's some things that pass in the wee hours, the late stages of the legislature. So again, definitely looking forward to our conversation with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh to get some insight on those things: housing, childcare, a lot of things being covered. A lot of things being covered. So we'll dive into that and more. Of course, looking at some national news. Apparently, states are going towards the gold standard. Are we returning back to the gold standard? Following the money? Yeah. What does that mean for your bottom line? There's also some tax changes. There's a lot of things going on, man. So we're going to talk about all that and more. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, any breaking news that we might have missed, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. More importantly, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, we're a little ahead of schedule. Paul B.
Yo,
Chat's
yo.
coming in. How you feeling? What's going on? What's the
Feeling
word?
pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Black Dynamite in the chat, giving us a good morning, y'all.
Hey.
Appreciate you coming through. I saw your post there. I did hear at the last minute that they were back out of Dreamland Park, getting down, getting
Come
busy
on.
over there. I said, man, they done snuck out as soon as the weather got better. They done snuck out. Didn't tell nobody. So we'll have to meet up on next Sunday over there and check it out. There's
Get down.
some good music going down in Dreamland Park on the Deuce. If you guys don't know, Sunday evenings, man, let it be known. We'll definitely keep you more informed on that. Also, Leia Keiser in the chat is talking about unpacking the Unicamera Week 15. She gave us a little rundown saying on this week's episode, we dive into the specifics and current standing of several bills that were either advanced or defeated last week. So more information
Word.
about some of that, man. I appreciate you guys doing that and really kind of keeping track of some of this stuff too, because how many? It was like 200 bills or something this time around. Wasn't it crazy?
Plus. I think it was like 200 within the first week or so. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And then they change. They kind of get wrapped up into each other. They morph. So hey, you gotta stay on top of it.
Got to stay on top of it for sure. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what's happening here with that, and I'm anxious to get into that conversation a little bit too. It's gonna be very interesting. There's a lot going on. Did anybody get out to the hip hop labs over the weekend as well? The lab that happened at Tenasco on Sunday. Also, I saw a lot of heads out there at Culture House on Saturday
Man.
as well. Yeah, man, legends in the camp. So if you happen to hit that, let us know. We'd love to get a little report on that and find out what's going on. Also, did you get our newsletter on Friday as well? If you haven't signed up to the newsletter, highly encourage you to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to grab the link here. We're venturing into to gather a little information from our
Yeah,
readers,
man.
from the people. We have to have some surveys out there so we can kind of continue to thread where we're going with the news and what we should be looking into. But yeah, if you haven't signed up to the weekly wrap, please do. I put a little feature in there this time too about the documenters. We got to talk a lot more about the documenters. Put a little documenters report in there, and so you can see what some of the stuff they're covering, because it is directly connected to the stuff that we're talking about here on this show and the things that you
Definitely.
bring up on Friends of. So I highly encourage you to do that. If you haven't done it yet, please go ahead and hit that link and follow the newsletter. The weekly wrap drops on Fridays at 4 o'clock. Yeah, man. Let's continue the conversation over there as well. I have a question in my mind. I'm going through my mind this probably just this last couple of weeks. I would say it's kind of been something floating around about what it is that we're doing, or how do we disseminate news? What news are we disseminating? Who's the audience? All those questions are stuff that we constantly go over when it comes to this show, because this show is all communication. So communication with who, about what, is kind of the next questions. So
Man.
we always rely on your feedback, and we want to give props to the chat chimers, especially the regulars that come through and chime into the chat and have a conversation on a regular basis. But also the ghost listeners that are around town. Every time I go around town, people are telling me that they're listening in, and every once in a while, maybe not on the live, they might send us a message or get into Friends of First Sky Omaha and drop some knowledge. So again, we appreciate all that. We'd like to have a wider spread. We'd like to spread this out more. If you have tell a friend, tell a friend. If you have more people that you think might benefit from this conversation or add to it, please let them know. Invite them. We'd love to kind of spread it out as well, and let us know that you're there too. That's a big thing for us. Let us know that you're around, because again, this whole show, everything that we're doing, is really based on our community and what it is that the community needs in order for us to thrive. do better, do more, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. All that. Y'all already giving your data to everybody else. Come on, man. Come on. Just go ahead and give it to us. Let us inform us help you. Go and give up the data. Fill out that survey. Sign up with your email.
Yeah, we ain't gonna ask for more than your name and your email and
Come
your
on.
thoughts. And your thoughts.
Yeah.
We ain't data mining here.
Hey. Trump already got your social. Come on.
That's right. There it is. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. Appreciate you guys. Also, Marlon Harris in the chat says, speaking of education, you might need to get Mrs. Bree Full on the show. She got 2 other people coming for her seat. I actually would like to get the people who are trying to go for her seat on the show as well. So shout out Marlon Harrison reminding us about that situation there. There is an election season that's happening right now. From the school board to the governor. There's all kinds of stuff going on this year that we got to look at. So we'll definitely do that. But right now we'll take a quick break so we can jump into the conversation here in anticipation of our guest. Again, if you're just joining us, we have a special Senator Cypher today. Senator Machaela Cavanaugh is going to come and join us. We always have a great time talking to her, so we're looking forward to it. Get your questions ready, and we'll talk about it very shortly. In the meantime, between time, stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It's Monday. My name is Paul B's Buddy the Guy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
My
name is Sleepy Paul.
Hey.
He's wide awake, Buddy the God. That's how it's going. How's it going around here? Earlier, I gave a shout out to Miss Brenda Council, and I didn't give the whole spiel here, but shout out to her. This is the new title that she has here. Let me get back to it.
VP.
There you go. Oh man, I lost it again. I thought I was ready. See how the day is going. Anyway, here it is. She's the Nebraska Democratic Party Black Caucus proudly congratulates Brenda Council on her historic election as the first Black vice chair of the Douglas County Democratic Party. So shout out to her for that. Miss Brenda Council has been in the game for a very long time. I'm happy to see an elder who is taking a position here because she is going to add very much to whatever's going on politically in the situation there. She's been in the game for a while. So shout out to her. As you can see, she's here with Mary Ewing. They had an event over the weekend. I think it was in Lincoln, where the Democratic Party had a gathering here, and that's where she became first Black vice chair of Douglas County Democratic Party. Shout out to Brenda Council. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that we gave her flowers. I'd love to have her on the show. I actually talked to her about 3 weeks ago, and we talked about having her on the show for some political commentary, just to talk a little bit about what's going on this season of this election season that's coming up, and some of the things that she's looking for. If you remember, we had a really great conversation with Preston Love Jr., another political elder in our community that had some great strategies on some things and helped us to think about some things, especially with the 6 to dismiss. You see that red mark there on Congressman Dodd Macon. I just kind of put it out of my mind because he's not running. But who's running in his seat was the subject of what Preston Love Jr. was talking about, and talked about the strategies of making sure that we have the right people in that seat, and how that would help with the battle with this administration that we are living under right now. So shout out to him for that, and we'll get some more information when we reach out to Brenda Council and get some strategies from her as well, because us, we always love and learning from the elders in a big way. So shout out to them. Shout out to you, Wanda Lewis. I see you in the chat. Good morning. Appreciate you. With that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the first subject. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Yeah, yeah. As I mentioned, I'd like to start off with the affirmative here on the show. Again, a story that's going in the direction that we like to see, that's proving the point that we're trying to prove, picking up what we're putting down, if you will, on this show. And I do want to give a shout out to the Midlands African American or Midlands African Chamber, excuse me, who's doing the work, man. They actually been doing the work quietly for a while. So definitely big shout out to them for making some noise with this latest move. This is coming out of KETV as the Midlands African Chamber is celebrating the opening of their new health screening and education center located at 132nd and B Streets, designed to eliminate barriers to healthcare for the African immigrant community. So big shout out to them for doing for themselves. Again, Adams Sawadogo says we put in place so we can have those African community with face, language barrier, transportation barrier, cost, financial barrier to come here and will receive those screenings. And those can do different screenings like blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, even some counseling as well. So we will be providing these. The group also launched a new digital platform to share health and educational content. And that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as the work that the Midlands African Chamber is doing. But we get invites and emails all the time about their extensive email list, networking events that they have, educational or resource sharing events that they have. And again, this is for the African community, which I don't think we sometimes realize how expansive it is, especially in Omaha. And actually, shout out to the Flatwater Free Press. They have a write up about the refugee situation in Omaha, Nebraska, at general, and how it has changed, under Trump. But I shared the story many times as far as Mama God, in the chat. Mama God was a banker with Wells Fargo, and as a banker for Wells Fargo, she worked with a lot of those immigrant families that came in, because Omaha's a hub city. Many people don't know that, but Omaha is a immigration hub city, and a lot of South Sudanese, a lot of Burmese. Just it's very diverse. And Mama God would help them with their banking, and we would go to some of the resource events that they have, or some of the cultural events that they have at like Benson High School. So to see that vibrant, ecosystem, I've been saying it throughout this season, because that's exactly what it was. It was an ecosystem, and again, you can't really thrive or survive without one. And the Midlands African Chamber is doing just that. So big shout out to them for the work that they're doing. And yeah, has anybody looked into it? I know, Paul, you're the one who kind of signed us up with the group. What say you?
Mhm. Yeah, I actually, like I said, we signed up with them for a while back and got into some of the things they were doing, and just kind of lost contact in just kind of the ecosystem of our world and what it is that we've been doing, with the intention to really connect back with them. But we've been watching about some of the stuff they've been doing over time. So the things that's really sticking out to me is what you said about this. They have a directory of the businesses. They're really kind of keeping track of things too. They've been hitting us up all the time about that directory in our emails. And also some of the things, the events and things they have, like this, like the Pitch Black conference that
Hmm.
happens every year as well. Which the next one's coming up May 2nd, 2026. So this is coming up very shortly here, and as you can see, you can secure your booth there as well. So shout out to them for doing this. You can register before April 12th, which I guess that was yesterday. So I'm sure that you can probably still talk to them and see if you can get in. But these kind of fill up pretty fast too, so maybe not. But definitely check them out and become more of a part of this. Shout out to Sherman Wells. Shout out to Brother Kasim, Black Agenda
Hmm.
Alliance, Untamed. These are some organizations that have been pretty closely related to our African brothers and sisters in the organizations they have out here as well, making sure that we understand that we all one people. So that's what reminds me that there's a lot of work going on here in areas that we're not always integrated in, and just to remind ourselves to get there, because we're all living in the same mess
Man, yeah. I
and trying to
believe
do it yourself.
brother Osaman Osaka too, and the Simple Foundation, doing some work with the African
Yeah.
brothers and sisters on the South Side as well. So again, it's about solidarity. That's what we're really all about, and coming together, man, and definitely taking a page out of their book as far as the ecosystem that they built, because it's not just Midland African Chambers, but of course Afro Omaha Fest. You know what I mean? Businesses like Okra. I mean, it really is a real, situation, real situation. So
Really
big
is.
shout out to the brothers and sisters out there putting in the work. And again, affirmative. This is solutions journalism, as we like to call it, man. This is a solution, coming together and doing for yourself. That's what it looks like.
Very, very much so. That coming together part, when we talk about it a lot, we talk about the like the Black, Brown, and Red coalition that's going on too. The way we try to keep up with our Indigenous brothers and sisters, our Latino brothers and sisters, but also the immigrant population here that's pretty extensive, and they're here and they do what they do for themselves as well because they're under the same kind of situation that we are sometimes, where you don't get a lot of help, so you have to kind of do for self and figure it out. And in that way, we are very closely related. Even if our community sometimes doesn't feel like we are, we're absolutely very closely related to those brothers and sisters. And while I'm mentioning, along with people who are economically depressed, whatever color or race
Yeah,
that they are, there's solidarity here that we are trying to build with everybody because we're not outnumbered, we're out organized. And that's
yeah.
what this is all about. Marlon Harrison in the chat says, "I'm surprised the health center is centrally located. 132nd and B
B.
seems pretty far out. Is there a B street? I didn't even know there was one."
Yeah, that's where it's located, 132nd and B. But I don't think a majority of like the immigrant population, well, especially the African immigrant population, there's a lot of um Korean people that's on North
North.
Omaha. But
Mhm.
as far as the African immigrant population, is more like South Omaha, Bellevue, a little further
They-
down.
They're pretty spread out everywhere. I mean, it's just like every population out here. We're all spread out all through Omaha for real. We like to focus on the geographic area of North
Right,
Omaha
right.
because of the historical context and everything. But yeah, we're really reaching out and talking to people from every neighborhood in this city because it's pretty spread out. But yeah, that is pretty far out. I'd like to see what kind of traffic they get in those areas. We have to go out there for whatever we go out there. A lot of people don't go past 72nd. A lot of people don't come past 72nd. So, you know what I'm saying? Like we definitely have our sections of town, but it's really interesting when we know that we got some folks in other parts of town, and we're seeing what they're doing and how their businesses are thriving and all that as well. It's kind of like exploring the city. So this is a good opportunity to go check that out and see what's happening there. And again, if you are interested in their summit that they have, definitely look into it because I really feel like these have gone by. They've been very successful. We see the pictures, we see the reports on the annual events that they throw, especially like this Pitch Black conference. If anybody's gone to the Pitch Black conference, please let us know. This has been going on for a few years now, so please let us know. And shout out to Millen's African Chamber. We will absolutely have somebody on from there if they are willing to come on and have a
Man.
discussion. It is past due time for that. Yep. Right on. We appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and move on from there. Again, if you're just joining us, we're anticipating our special guest today. It's a special Senator Cypher with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh coming on. Get your questions ready for her. It's going to be her last time. This is her. She's pretty much leaving. Her time is up. 10 years up on this. And who's going to replace her is kind of one of the questions that I got. Because this is one of the allies to some of the senators from our areas that rely on some allyship in the in the unicameral there. So yeah, we got a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Get your questions ready, and we'll talk to her shortly. In the meantime, between time, what's next on the agenda, buddy?
Yeah, in the meantime, want to jump into a story still dealing with development in our community, home ownership in North Omaha. This is from WOWT. Apparently, there's a strategy session that went down over the weekend aiming to expand affordable housing. And of course, this is definitely one of the main topics that we have here on this show, especially this season. Really, the last couple of seasons between Spaces and Places and Follow the Money is kind of a amalgamation of the two, if you will, as far as home ownership and what that means as far as buying into the community, which is definitely something we talked about last episode, that buy-in word. But again, shout out to those who are putting in the work. Actually, we just learned about Habitat for Humanity, who's featured in this article from our last guest on Friday, who kind of broke it down to us as far as Habitat for Humanity in Omaha being one of the main Habitat for Humanities in the nation, one of the largest actually. And again, they're a part of this conversation to secure home ownership in the north on the north side. Excuse me. Again, on Saturday, community leaders in North Omaha will held a strategy session to discuss how to expand affordable housing and increase home ownership. Of course, everybody needs affordable housing, quote unquote, the buzzword, all over the country, all over Nebraska, especially in North Omaha. One big problem, however, is defining what affordable exactly is. That very question that we've been trying to answer here on the show. Shout out to Teresa Hunter, who's CEO and ED of Family Housing Advisory Services. She says if you're in the lower income categories, there's just no such thing as affordable, either in the housing for rent or for home ownership. The prices are just way higher than they have been. There are some new apartments popping up in the northern part of the city, according to the article, and more under construction. But apartments are needed. But according to Lacey Studnicka with, again, Habitat for Humanity, she says, again, echoing what I've been talking about, single family homes really help build a community. Again, we've talked about here on the show how apartments, which we've seen pop up left and right, more so than new build homes for single families. Um, how often do people who live in apartments deal with their neighbors? It's kind of more likely to, again, deal with your neighbors if you're in a house situation. Home ownership is really that pillar, according to Studnicka. Again, that foundation for success of a community. We see improved health income. We see improved attendance outcome. The pride of ownership and investment in the community and economic investment is enormous for Omaha. So again, I'm wondering if anybody made it to this conference over the weekend. A lot of conversation still around trying to find some area of housing as Habitat for Humanity, which, again, quite interestingly, side note, back in the Mine and Soul days, we did a story on the land bank. And we actually were able to get into the actual sales roles of the land bank to see what companies are getting the land bank properties. And surprisingly, or maybe not so, Habitat for Humanity was one of the largest buyers of those land bank properties. So again, it's very interesting to watch what it is that they're doing. Of course, they just rolled out the Bluestem Prairie neighborhood, which closed over 85 homes. Actually, according to Habitat for Humanity, last year was a real banner year for Habitat, again, closing on 104 homes total in 2025, which, again, 85 of those were a part of the Bluestem Prairie neighborhood, formerly known as the Winter Green Apartments, aka the Mayats. So again, there is housing out there, but as we had our extension from our conversation with Omaha 100 on Friday, how can those in the community afford the houses? How can those in the community get in the houses? So again, still a lot of conversation. Very curious. Some people in the chat. What say you, Paul?
Yeah, I was the conversation that we had with Elena Nichols on Friday. Definitely go back and check that on YouTube. I believe it was her that talked about we have the biggest, most
Yep.
extensive habitat, situation over here and bigger than a lot of other places. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. Also on this article too, they flashed a picture of Brother Don Curry's contribution to the community here, and this is some of the construction that he's working on. I think he got a couple spots. If you
Mm-hmm.
missed that conversation that we had with him, I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you to go back to YouTube and check that out because I think that's a very enlightening conversation about that. So go back and check out that conversation that we had with Don Curry. It's right here on the link. This is one of the properties that he's put down. He's used one of the land bank lands, and caught that land and then went and got a loan and put up this multifamily home here in this sense of a multifamily home. We're used to seeing a lot of apartments and stuff everywhere, but this is basically like three homes in one, with
Mm-hmm.
the bottom floor, top floor, middle floor, all having their access to their individual floors as apartments. So and he's got a sliding scale on this as well. So he has what he's considering affordable. Also, I believe the top floor is market rate. So he's done the math to figure out how to get this built and how to get this paid for in order to be in the neighborhood and be affordable for the people that wanted to stay here in the neighborhood, especially. So I think that's a very important part. I'm wondering if he was a part of that meeting as well. Love to hear from him about it. But in the meantime, if you missed that, then I highly suggest you go and check it out. Check out the meeting if they have it. I'm going to see if they can find that meeting, or if anybody went to that meeting, report on that meeting as well. So we appreciate that. And also, I was just thinking when we always are talking about this affordable housing. Anthony Rogers Wright kind of taught us this phrase, low and moderate income housing is what we
Mm-hmm.
actually need,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really hard to define what affordable means, because affordable is so relative according to your situation. So that's what it is. Marlon Harrison in the chat says apartment living is low key unstable. says while some people live there for 8 to 10 years, some people live there for 2 to 3 years. There is high turnover when it comes to apartment living. For that very reason, you're not bought into the apartment. But I will say that we are living in a time right now, and especially in this particular generation, where it feels right at this moment that home ownership is out of everybody's reach. And I think that's
Mm.
been a real problem. Now we're learning more things from different organizations like Omaha 100, Carver Bank, all these other places, that there's still home ownership is still possible. It really depends on whether or not you are in a position where you have a decent enough job in the area. We have to jump back to, like, are the jobs sufficient enough for you to be able to put a little savings away in order for you to buy a home? I mean, we
Right,
talk about
right.
home ownership, but you can't talk about home ownership without talking about the job situation and where we're at, which is we're at a low point on the job situation right now in our community too. So again, and then of course we get to my favorite part of the conversation, which is what do we do? Which I got plenty of stories of black families, especially, that have strategized enough to put things together. One of my favorite stories is a friend of mine that used to live down the street from me. Him and his two brothers decided to move in together. One brother paid all the bills for the house they were living in and all the utilities and everything else. The other brother saved all his check all year long, and the third brother was the brother who was able to kind of give them a little discretionary funds, put some savings away, but also give them a little money to go out and have a good time, buy some cars, whatever they needed to as well, extra stuff. And after 2 years, they saved up enough money to buy another property, and then they did that a third time, and then all three of them had properties. So when it comes to figuring out some strategies and figuring out how to work with what you got, our people do a really great job of that. And I have some pretty inspiring stories. Whatever the climate is when it comes to home ownership, we'll figure it out if it's our priority to do so. But it is a big responsibility. It does mean buying into the neighborhood. It does mean committing to being in that neighborhood. A lot of us want to float on somewhere else. So
Float on.
there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Also, who's in Mark Manor is saying, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened with that development that had the music festival last year? I was biking over there the other day, and it was still a field. You may have covered this. I stepped away for a moment. Which was this? Was that
I
on?
loosely remember like a festival being tied to a apartment or like a housing development project, but I'm
Oh,
trying to think of the location where it was. If anybody else
yeah.
remembers that, I think I remember what you're talking about, Mark.
Are you talking about on 24th Street? It might have been the Minch Group.
Yes,
Is that what it
yes,
was?
yes, yes. It was the Minch Group. Yep,
Okay. Um,
yep.
yeah, remember, I think okay, it's coming back to me now. During Native Omaha days, didn't we walk down 24th and pass like a little concert happening? We was like, what is this? Was that us? I'm not really sure, but we do. I have talked to the brother that is behind the Minch Group, and he does have a couple properties up and down 24th, all the way up to I think pretty close to Assembly of the Saints. He's got some stuff going on, like Bedford, or
Actually, I
yeah.
think we had him on the show.
But the brother for the Minch Group.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's coming back. It's coming. We talked to a lot of people, y'all. Excuse us, but it's, it's,
Yeah, I
it's
was
coming
supposed
back.
to. Yeah,
It's
should
coming
let,
back.
should let that come all the way back. Now we sit up here like, did we have him on? Did we? Yeah.
Okay, okay. Angel
Phil
Stark,
McLean.
she would know. She's coming in the chat. She says Phil McLean. Yes, the
Yeah.
Mince Group.
Did we?
Yes,
Did
still
we
in
have?
progress.
Did
Okay,
we have him on the show?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Because I've talked to Brother McLean several times in person, so now I can't remember if it was my personal conversation with him or if we had him on the show and talked about it. We'll have him back because there's
It's
more
all
progression on his stuff. Yeah, for sure.
it's all just one big conversation, Paul.
Good morning, Angel Stark. Appreciate you. One big conversation. I hear that. Uh, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm starting to learn more about with our efforts to be a part of what's going on with the revitalization of the 24th and Lake Street area, what we're calling Peagot Corner.
Hey,
I'm learning about all the players, all the young folks, all the development companies, everybody who's kind of owning properties around here, and what the plans are. Seeing more and more about those things. So yeah, that's the reason why I was able to have a couple conversations with Brother McLean on some of his land. And then, yeah, I didn't really put two and two together, Mark, about that being that place where they had that little concert in the field.
yeah,
Yeah,
forgot all about that. Forgot all about that. Thanks for
yeah.
bringing that up. But to that point, I'm thinking of the Minch Group. I'm thinking of Front Porch. I'm thinking of all the organizations you're kind of talking about as far as housing and what
Hmm.
the market, what people out there are really dealing with. Is it income? Is it
Mhm.
For me, it's kind of seeming like a cost of living kind of thing, because when you
Right.
think about mortgages, they're actually sometimes cheaper than the rent that we're already paying. So it's not even about if we can sustain it. Like, you're already making the money. But what's the cost of living is, do you have to pay for insurance? Is the cost of living so high that you can't save? I think you might be onto something as far as saving for that down payment, which is why I think of, there are that is the other side of home ownership, because there are lots of programs out there who recognize these issues, and they
Right.
are helping with down payment assistance, matching loans,
Right.
and things like that. And it is really going to take all hands on deck, for this. It's not just looking at why aren't you making money, working hard enough, or why. It's kind of all of it,
Yeah.
which is kind of what's recognized in this article, saying, again, this is from Habitat for Humanity, Studnica, saying we need funders, we need the city, we need the banks, we need partners, we need land, we need all of us to come together to address the
Mhm.
issue. So there's many areas, not just those in the community, addressing this. In a second, I do want to get into the legislature as we prepare for our guests. There's actually a housing bill that passed in the wee hours of the legislature, that I want to talk about in this conversation as well.
Yeah, very, very interesting for sure. I am learning that as we get deeper into what is going on with the Empowerment Network, Revive, all these other organizations that are out here that are pointing us to other organizations like Omaha 100 and all these places. Even I think Front Porch. I'm thinking about also what's the one over there in the Fabric Lab building now, Spark.
Spark.
So we think about these other organizations that have these programs and have things in order to help people with down payments. When I'm thinking about buying a house, that's what I'm thinking about, the 10 to 15 to 20% that you need to have down on a house. If a house is $250,000, you got to have $25,000 to put down on it, most of the time. So where do you how can you save that if your job doesn't allow you, if you're living check to check like most of us are. And then after the mortgage might be cheaper than actual rent, but what is that? What happens when you get to the end of the year? You got to pay that tax that's on that
Mm.
house. Property taxes is all in the news, is all in the bills, is all in the legislature, it's all everywhere. It's what the governor's trying to work on, so on and so forth, because property taxes are so high, it's crazy. And then you got to think about insurance, and you got to think about the maintenance. Now you're in charge of the maintenance of that place too. The roof goes
Man,
down. Where's your
furnace.
20 grand in the bank to get that roof fixed? Something happens. Lots to it. Lots to home ownership, and really it takes you having the ability to have the income first and foremost. So that's part of it. I will definitely reach out to Brother Phil McLean. Shout out to Angel Stark. Appreciate you coming in the chat this morning, listening in, and letting us know. Insurance, tax maintenance. There you go.
Okay,
You already
okay.
know what I'm talking about. This is a 10 to
Pat.
Pat. Okay,
Okay,
appreciate you
it's a
coming
new
in.
name. Welcome.
Brother Roscoe Wallace in the chat. Good morning, brothers.
Hey.
Appreciate you coming in, bro. It's about time for us to catch back up with you, see what you got going on too, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Most
sir.
dev. Let's go ahead and throw. We got about 2 minutes left until we'll start anticipating our guests to come in. So buddy, if you wanted to jump into the legislative part of this conversation too, let's go ahead and do that before we go to break.
Yeah, yeah. Because again, the housing issue will require all hands on deck. Nonprofits, community organizations, also governmental organizations,
Ooh,
making things easier for us. And the question is, does this do that? Again, talking about LB 938, which is being reported by KETV 7, a new proposal aimed at making home ownership more attainable in Nebraska. Again, move forward at the state capitol. Lawmakers gave approval to LB 938, also known as the First Time Home Buyer Act, which again creates a savings account for those who are looking to buy their first home. The measure would allow Nebraskans to open a special savings account designed to help cover the upfront cost of buying a home, including, as we just discussed, down payments, closing costs, and other related fees, maybe inspections, other things that you might not anticipate. Supporters say the bill targets one of the biggest barriers to home ownership. And over the past decade, the median home price has increased tenfold. Again, has increased from about 155,000 per home to about 290. So almost doubling over the time. At the same time, the first time buyers now make up at least 21% of home purchases nationwide, down from around 40% historically. So, again, people getting into their first home, as you mentioned, Paul, once you kind of get into buying properties, it might be a little easier to refinance, to do some other things to pick up another property. But getting that first over that first hump, seems to be an issue. Under the proposal, individuals could contribute up to $5,000 per year into a dedicated account with a lifetime limit of 25,000. So again, over the course of 5 years, up to that 25,000 limit, which again is right in line with what you just said, Paul, which will be a down payment for a roughly $250,000 home. Again, as far as those being married, that was just for an individual. For married couples, they can contribute up to 10,000 annually for up to 50,000 total. So basically, double that account. Those contributions will be deductible on state income taxes, and any interest earned will grow tax free as long as the money is used for qualified home buying expenses. So again, this is a state issued savings account. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Will this help?
Man, that's interesting. We'll dive into it. We have our special guest waiting in the wings, so we'll bring her in. Yeah, let's continue to talk about this too. It's going to be very interesting, and I love to see what's happening in the legislature with this one as well. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning,
Paul B, buddy to God.
Hey.
Next up, Senator Machaela Cavanaugh. Put some respect on her name. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God, and she is Senator Machaela Cavanaugh in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. You know, kids are getting out the door right now with my husband.
Okay. Is that time of the morning? Got that?
Yeah. Got the sun shining through.
Do you have a hectic get the kids off to school morning, or is it pretty chill?
They're being pretty good right now. I wouldn't say that that's always typical.
Okay. Yeah.
Mad dash.
Dash. Some people got chill routines. Some people it's mad dash. I've been in both situations. I understand.
We're about to have a guest.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Hello.
This is Jerry. You say hi.
Hi. Good morning. How you doing?
Hello. Good morning.
Right. Your daddy's gonna take you to school now, hon. So I can talk to these guys, and there's other people that are watching. So you go say hi and bye, okay?
Hi, bye.
All right.
Bye.
He's my youngest.
Nice.
He was actually a baby when I started in the legislature.
Oh, wow. He represents the time you were there. Speaking of which,
let's pick up right there.
To a close, right?
What?
So your time is coming to a close, right?
It is. Friday is hopefully the last day. Here's another. This is Hattie.
Right. Hey.
Hi.
Have a good day at school.
Kisses.
Yes, you can. See, you asked, and now.
Hey, that's all the love and goodbyes. That's not a hectic morning. That's I'm talking about the screaming and the where's my shoes and all that kind of that.
Yes, their water bottles, their snacks, everything. I never had water bottle at school growing up. Did you guys?
No.
No. The fountain was good enough.
That's a staple. I'm like, oh wow, we're keeping kids hydrated now.
I'm old. I had the old white the porcelain water fountain, so I don't know nothing about no bottles at school.
Me too. Porcelain water fountains, yeah. They're still there at my grade school that I went to, along with signs that say asbestos in the ceilings.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's another conversation.
Definitely.
But yeah, Friday is our last day of session, and as long as there's no special session, then it's my last day. So
this upcoming Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought this past Friday was the last day.
It was the last day to pass bills, but we have to
Mm.
have 5 days, for veto overrides, and so in case the governor vetoes anything, we are coming back on Friday, and, I get to make a speech, and then we do a bunch of procedural stuff, and I don't know, maybe the governor comes and talks to us. I haven't looked to see. I hope not. The last couple of times he's come to talk has been very unpleasant.
Mm.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine from Trump Jr. I can only imagine.
I can imagine that they're over there saying that about you though, because you are always in the news. You were always causing some stuff. As a matter of fact,
Almost never.
we had Senator Spivey on last week for last week's Senator Cypher. I want to play a little clip about what she said about you on there. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can grab it.
And then another thing that I wanted to uplift, I know you kind of talked about this with more so with Senator John Kavanaugh, like being an ally in his campaign. But I will say that there are colleagues of ours in the legislature that do stand up. And so, like, I love Senator Machaela Cavanaugh. And, like, as we end this week, I am grieving her not being there. She and I serve on appropriations together. So we were like in the cave, like it's a 5-day committee, like together. And she will get on the mic and say the things of like, y'all are racist. And so we are going to not move past this bill until I feel like you're done. So it's nice to have someone that has the privilege that does that and uses it in that way, to call things.
So we were very impressed by that comment and definitely clip that
Got
out.
some love.
Yeah, got some love. She told us when I first tried to reach out to her to get your number, she was just singing your praises. So we already
I
knew
love
that
her
was the
so
case.
much.
You guys can be sisters in the fight.
I'm going to become her intern after this.
Okay.
Nice.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Nice.
I told her I would get credentialed as press so that I could just come in every day and just sit there with her.
There you go.
I mean, we might need you. We might need some help. Might need some allies in the legislature. But let's actually talk about that as far as the end for you. We had a conversation before this season, and you kind of mentioned how you're always playing defense, and Senator Spivey actually kind of broke it to us that you might have some offensive victories this legislative session as far as priority bills passing and things like that. So let's kind of jump into that as far as the end of the season. How you feeling about some of the bills that you were pushing yourself rather than having to play defense?
Yeah. Well, Friday was pretty amazing day as far as that goes. Really still not sure that I have fully processed that we passed my priority bill and then Senator Hunt prioritized another one of my bills. But my priority bill had 2 of my bills in it, and then Senator Dungan had a bill in it, and Senator Spivey had 2 bills in it. And all of them did really amazing things. My priority bill was for developmental disabilities, for families that are dealing with this issue over the assessment and the waiver. And then it also included the Medicaid look back, which is going to make sure that people who are on Medicaid and the expansion population have that coverage, the retroactive coverage that they had before the one big beautiful bill. It's shorter now, but the state was going to go to no coverage. So that's going to save this, the healthcare system over $500 million. And then Senator Dungan's bill was the prenatal quality prenatal plus program, so dealing around prenatal health. Senator Spivey's bill increased payments for LIHEAP energy assistance in Omaha. And then her other bill was Medicaid coverage for doulas, which is a bill I first introduced years ago. And I'm just beyond grateful to her for introducing it, for working it, for getting it passed, and for doing it in partnership with me on this last day. My heart is so full. And Senator Hunt's prioritized my school meals bill. So we're doing a 5-year pilot program where all reduced lunch meals will be fully paid.
Wow.
Yeah, so we like actually did some good things on the
in the
last
in the
legislature.
in the last stretch
And
this year.
yeah, and I mean, it wasn't easy by any means, but it wasn't as hard as other things have been over the years. And I kind of like got to this point where I'm like, oh, so you all could have like worked with me like this for the last 8 years and we could have done really good things together.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Kind
But
of
I guess
kind of feels like
I'll take it now.
get it while you can. Kind of feels like
Yeah.
PSA situation where they could have paid them the whole time, and then they, it's political will. Political will is interesting.
Yeah, it really, really is. But I'm excited because I felt like this session was a lot of doing damage to low income working people,
Yeah.
and to end with doing some really good things, like really substantially good things is so important. And well, the last 8 years haven't been great to me on a personal level. It's nice to know that I know I felt like I made a difference my first session. It's nice to know that I made a difference in my last days.
That's what's up. Congratulations on that. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. I'm glad to hear some good news there from the fight that you saw yourself in there. I got to ask about you leaving here shortly and your seat being filled. Is there anybody that you would like to see run in your place and that has some of the same values that you have been pushing the whole time you've been in, basically?
Succession plan.
Well,
Secession.
yeah. So there are two gentlemen running. Both of them are Democrats. And I am really excited about Nate Ostick. I think that he's young, which is great. I don't view that as a negative. I think that's really, really wonderful, especially when we're thinking about engaging the next generation of advocates. Like, we need people who are going to bring other young people to the table and get them excited. And I think that Nate does that. He's also extremely smart and hardworking. And really, he was endorsed by labor, and he holds the same views that I do on reproductive health. And one of the things that I found, like, as a Democrat, I know not whatever views everyone has, but I am a unapologetically progressive Democrat, and I don't think that political parties really give you an idea of who people are. So, like, my core values are reproductive health and workforce issues. So, being a strong supporter of labor issues is critically important to me. And I think that if you have those two values, that probably a lot of the other things are going to line up, but you have to advocate for those who don't have a voice. And that's why labor is such an important issue for me, because while just like nonprofit industrial complex, there's a lot of political issues behind organized labor, but it's beyond just organized labor. It's like critical advocating for wages, advocating for leave, advocating for all of the things across the board, the social services that kind of come along with that. So for me, that's Nate.
Okay. We'll be definitely looking into them.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. My mind actually goes to not just your core values as a legislator, but also your stance or your position on the appropriations committee. And of course, over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of cuts. So we've seen a lot of movement, a lot of questionable things as far as appropriations and budgets go. What are you kind of anticipating we'll see with your absence as far as the appropriations committee, especially next year's budget debates?
Well, I think a lot of that is going to have to do with what happens in the elections. If we have a different governor, which we absolutely should have a different governor, if we have a different governor, it's going to be a totally different conversation. The budget's going to be difficult no matter what, because we've set ourselves up for a massive deficit. But if we have a governor who's going to value people over wealth, then I think the appropriations process will be vastly different, because we start with the governor's budget. And so it really depends on who is in the executive seat. And then also who's in the executive seat determines what gets line item vetoes. If we try to put good things in there, they could be taken out by the governor. So that's really going to be critically important. I do think the Appropriations Committee is very challenging and exhausting. And the only thing I'm really regretful of is to leave Senator Spivey there. She's been amazing on that committee, and we've done a lot of good stuff together that nobody's ever going to know about because it, like she said, it's like a black hole. But we stopped a lot. The budget would have been so much worse if we weren't there together. We fought a lot of things from getting included in that budget, and you don't feel it because there's so much bad stuff in that budget. But trust me, if we weren't there, you'd feel it. So
what's one thing off the top of your head you can name that would have been worse if you guys hadn't fought?
Well, oh God, one.
Yeah, just one. We only got a few minutes.
Well, we protected cuts to a lot of Medicaid programming through the Medicaid Excess Cash Fund. The governor wanted to cut all of it, and we protected cuts to that. Senator McKinney has a juvenile justice pilot that is funded through that program, and we protected funding for that. We did have to compromise and cut some of the funding, but very honestly, like minimal amount compared to none. So things like that, Meals on Wheels, public assistance.
They try to take it. They try
Education?
to cut everything.
Sorry, say that again.
I said they try to cut everything. It sounds like.
Oh yeah. Oh well, not property tax relief.
Okay.
And we're continuing to cut income taxes for the highest tax bracket. But everything else.
Interesting.
And create more felonies.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting us in on some of that stuff. We had a feeling that was going on, and I'm glad I'm glad that you're able to talk about that. But right now, I just want to let people know it's 8:02 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're well into the second hour now with First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B's buddy the guy. We have Senator Machaela Cavanaugh, this senator, with us until Friday. We just talked a little bit about secession. We talked about some of the things, and my last question on that issue is who are you leaving in the room with Senator Spivey? Is there any other allies there that you're going to hand it to be like, listen, watch out for her while I'm gone? Who's the people we need to have on next?
Well, in the current body, Senator McKinney, of course, is an amazing ally, friend, and just thought leader. I would start crying if I really started talking about Senator McKinney. I adore him to the moon and back. He's just an amazing human being with such a heart for public service. So, he's going to be looking after our sister, Senator Spivey. But I'm hoping that over the next several months that we all send her more allies. We've got some really amazing people running for legislature in seats that look now like my seat looked when I first ran. And I ran against a Republican incumbent, and I had a baby between the primary and the general election, who you just met. And so like hard work pays off. And I came in second place in my primary election. So I wasn't the front runner by any means. And we can lose the primaries in these open primaries, come in second place and still win. And so I think, focusing on some really great people at that level. I know Cindy Maxwell Ostick, who is an independent, is running in a very hotly contested incumbent race against Brad Von Gilren. And the legislature, the Capitol, is like high school. It's the biggest gossip mill. Actually, that's not nice to high school. They didn't gossip that much. And I went to an all-girls high school, so there was a lot of gossip. but the Capitol everybody does think that Senator Von Gilligan is extremely vulnerable. And so I think, focusing energy on Cindy Maxwell Ostick's campaign is going to be really, really important. And then there's Jess Galdoni, who's running in an open seat in Senator Armendariz' district. And, we've got my seat open. We've got Senator DeBoer's seat open. We've got Senator Hunt's seat open. I have a favorite in Senator Hunt's district as well, which is Aaron Feitchinger. And Aaron is already been an advocate down in the legislature with us. And I really hope that District 8 sends her to the legislature because she is a fighter. She is, yes, and she won't back down. And it's a safe district, which that's one of the things. My district was never safe. And so it was a little unusual for me to be as outspoken as I am because I didn't live in a safe district, but I always viewed it as they voted for me. They knew what they were getting.
Maybe.
And then they voted for me a second time. So they must have been okay with it because I was always this way.
Right.
But I think we've got some great candidates, and we've got some great candidates like in other parts of the state too, outside of Lincoln, Senator Brandt's district. He's term limited with me. There's a great candidate there. So I think we've got some good opportunities to have a much better legislature next year.
Well, while we're talking about it, we have to dive into the situation with your brother because that is also
I have 5.
Which one? Which one?
I know what you mean.
Boy, if you had 4 other ones on the legislature, that'd be something else right there.
That would be.
Yeah, it would. It really would. But so we kind of need to dive into that conversation a little bit now that we're in the second hour. I'll get to some of the questions that are in the chat in a minute. But first, we got to dive into this because I saw a post of yours the other day, and you're kind of like asking the Republican Party, would you stop running ads with my brother and Trump? Like, obviously, this is some fake news and some messed up stuff they got going on here. Can you tell us a little bit about the story behind that? What they're claiming, why they're claiming what they're claiming? We got to get to this conversation about. And by the way, he will be on the show next week. So
good.
Yeah, so we're going to have your brother, Senator John Cavanaugh, on the show. Put some respect on his name on the show next week to talk to him about this a little bit. But I wanted to get from your perspective. Before, since you came on before him, exactly like what's going on here with that and what this means for his run. From your opinion, we asked Senator Spivey and Senator McKinney about what it means if he runs and he's not in that seat anymore, and the threat to the blue dot and everything that's going on. Kind of want to hear from you about some of that as well.
Sure. Well, I'll start with the Trump stuff. So he introduced some bills on like not taxing tips and overtime, which apparently Donald Trump agrees that we shouldn't tax tips and overtime. And, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
I say that sometimes.
I mean, if you believe in the concept of time, that is.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, they clearly are trying to. Trump lost CD2, and so he's not popular in CD2. I mean, Trump lost and Don Bacon won. So trying to attach a Democrat to Donald Trump on the Republican side is that he's clearly a threat to the Republican, which is Brinker Harding. So that's an obvious strategy. And just because they agree on one issue does not mean that they are like going to be best friends at all.
I gotta say, I was hoping it wasn't that simple.
No, it is. Yeah. He's the top candidate. He has the highest name ID out of all of the candidates, including Brinker. He has absolutely the best chance to flip the seat. And there's no question about like I know there's a blue wave. That doesn't guarantee that this seat the redistricting in 2020 messed up the seat bad, like real bad. And so this is not like an easy giveaway to the Democrats by any stretch of the imagination. In 2024, Kamala Harris won the seat and Tony Vargas didn't. So like that's, and that's a huge Democratic voter turnout. like this is not a done deal for the Democrats. And so the fact that the Republican Party is spending so much money in, I don't know if it's right to say attacking, because they're like lovingly assigning him to Donald Trump, but they're spending so much money trying to get that message out because he's the threat. He is the threat. They're not doing that to anybody else.
So
Except for Jess Scaldoni. They're also doing it to Jess Scaldoni in 18.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
about that
because
one. Wow.
she's the threat. Yeah.
So this thing right here, just so I can recap real quick, they're kind of playing in our face, is what we like to say around here. They're playing in our faces. They think we're stupid. So they're saying they're trying to appeal to like to Democrats, progressives, and by saying, look at you, your man is aligned with Trump, so you probably shouldn't vote for him. Like, I was hoping it wasn't that simple, but that's really all these and I mean these ads are constant. They have spent so much money. I cannot open my phone up without seeing him and this graphic of him and Trump, and that's all there was behind it. They're threatened, and so they want to try to play in our face and try to act like we're dumb and like we better not vote for him then if he's connected to, like, that's some backward stuff right there. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that there's this effort to portray him as on the Republican and the Democrat side, to portray him as like the institutional candidate that's just going to be the same as everything else, when the reality is he's the most progressive candidate running. But he doesn't look like he's the most progressive candidate because, he's a middle-class white guy. But he's endorsed by the Progressive Caucus in DC, which includes Jamie Raskins, AOC, Bernie Sanders. I mean, like, he is the progressive candidate, and though he comes from a political family, we don't have family wealth at all, not even a little bit.
Right.
My whole family, we're all working class people, and with mortgages and student loans and all the things. And so I think there's a misconception when they talk about like family legacy. Our family legacy is just like people who are doctors. Like, we're just public servants. We are able to use our talents and our community engagement to serve in a specific capacity, but that doesn't change that. That's just what we are. We're just public servants. And, maybe we're politicians in that we have to run for office, but we're not really politicians in that more traditional sense of the way. We don't make money off of being in political office. We're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, with this current administration showing us how to make money in politics.
Yeah, you're not sending your son-in-law for international negotiations. It's not what you're doing.
No, I mean, not at all.
Speaking of that,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, just wanted to about about Senator John Cavanaugh. As far as there's a lot of conversation of where he might be more useful, as far as whether the federal versus the state side. Of course, there's talk about filibusters and vetoes here in Nebraska versus trying to get ahead of what Trump is doing on the federal side. What do you feel as far as that part of the conversation?
Well, my priority bill wouldn't have been necessary if we had a better Congress. So there's a lot of things that happen at the federal level, especially around healthcare and social services and Social Security that are pushed down to the state level. And without a better Congress, we're gonna just at a state level be in worse and worse and worse shape. I mean, it's to me, we're not in a space anymore where we can get good things done at the state level and just kind of fly on autopilot at the federal level. The federal government has become so important into reproductive health rights, into workers' rights, into public programs like SNAP, childcare subsidies, TANF, which is temporary assistance to needy families. And so if you had asked me this question a few years ago, I might have had a different answer. But especially after the One Big Beautiful Bill, I mean, we almost are irrelevant at a state level until we fix things at a federal level, because we're running into that we might not have Medicaid. And, the Obamacare, there needs to be serious reform there. And we can't do that at a state level. We can't save healthcare at a state level. And so I think that is critically important, that we have people in Washington who are going to really fight for those things and do it even if it comes at a personal cost. And John will fight for things even if it comes at a personal cost. And we've seen him do that. He had to give up his priority bill this year because that crazy, I have a lot of curse words in my head, Kathleen Kauf, trying to attach a gender affirming ban to his medical marijuana bill. And he's the kind of person that is going to sacrifice what he cares about for the greater good. And I think, why wouldn't we want that person at the national level? But then, when you talk about the blue dot, we are effed right now.
Even with John.
Even with John, the last 2 years, we have existed in the first super majority of Republicans in the legislature. That has never existed before. And it has been a hellscape every single day. So when I hear people saying we can't afford to lose him because there'll be too many Republicans, I'm like, you guys messed us over in 2024. You focused on ballot initiatives instead of legislative races. So get off your asses and go knock some doors for some really great candidates, and get off your warriors online. That's not doing anything. You're in an echo chamber. Go knock doors for those legislative candidates and stop saying that they can't win. People said I couldn't win. Don't say that. Show up for them. Show up for your communities and for Nebraska, and get them there. Yeah. Regardless of who's running for Congress. Ignore Congress entirely. Who cares? If you don't care about Congress, don't care about Congress. Get better people elected. Because even if John weren't doing this, we still need a better legislature. And we still have a responsibility to get a better legislature. So also the blue dot, it's great. It's really fun.
What's it getting done is the question.
Right. What is it doing for communities?
Yeah.
District. I mean, and what are the people that are so tied to it? Like, what are they doing to move these issues forward beyond saying that it's the most important thing, when we've never had to debate winner take all in over 10 years? So it's clearly not important to the legislature. It's important to Donald Trump and Jim Pillen and nobody else. So get rid of Jim Pillen, send good people to Congress, focus on legislative races.
Okay.
There you go. Pillen.
Is that clear enough?
Right. You just made me think about the unicameral and the fact that, I mean, you don't have the likes of Ernie Chambers being born in a situation if the unicameral wasn't always had some issues in the first place. Yes. I appreciate it. We were well past the time that we were going to have you on here. If you can stay another couple of minutes for a couple more questions, would you?
Oh, sure. You okay? My kids are gone now, so.
I appreciate that. The first one I want to mention is RG, who says that boy just wants Cheerios and his mom put him on the camera. I thought that was hilarious.
Talking about your son.
Oh,
he came over there like, "Where are my Cheerios at?" He was like, "Say hi on the camera." I appreciate that. Also, Ariel's 402 says, "Many blessings waiting to be claimed. Please hit the like button. Thanks for the reminder." Anthony Rogers right in the chat is asking, "I would love to hear about the senator's plans for the fact that public power is effectively ended with passage and imminent signing of LB 1261. Can you tell us a little bit about 1261?
Well, yeah, it's not not quite the end of public power, but it is a terrible bill. And it's one of those examples of how we don't have enough people right now to stop bad things.
What's the bill, just for the people that don't know?
So it was the governor's priority on eminent domain and public power, and we did get amendments to it, so it doesn't it's not quite as bad as that, but it's I thought I'd have to look back up to explain it better. But essentially, it's a terrible bill that helps rich people.
Is this dealing with the data centers providing their own power, or is that a different bill?
That's in there, yeah. And so we did protect, they can't sell it. So that's probably the part he's talking about. They want to be able to they have to, if they're going to sell excess power, they have to sell it to the public power. They can't create their own market. So that was one of the compromises, but if we had more people, would have been better.
Shut it down.
It's interesting. We have been talking about that story. Didn't hear about that particular portion of it, which don't want to be glossed over. The fact that it was proposed that these data centers would turn into power districts, basically providing power for the surrounding community. Which, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so they can't do that, but if they have excess power, they can sell it to the public power district, but they can't sell it on the market. Which originally I think they could sell it on the market, and that was cut back. But yeah, I mean, there is obviously this governor is attempting to erode public power, which is everybody should be outraged about. And I know Anthony has some thoughts on a bill that I brought. I think that there's maybe a little bit of misunderstanding as to the intention behind the bill that I brought on data centers, which is that they're completely unregulated. And so I brought a bill to start collecting data from the data centers so that the PSC and future legislatures can start to regulate them. One of the biggest issues we saw with the advent of internet is that it started to be regulated without understanding, and it wasn't regulated very strongly as a result. And I don't want to see us do that again. I think we really need to very heavily regulate data centers and their access to power and natural resources. And we need to be smart about how we do it. And we can't do that without any information, which we currently don't have, but we will have. And Google is very angry with me.
I appreciate that. We'll move on from that. There's a few more things in the chat we want to get to. Donnell Sessions, first of all, says, thank you for your advocacy. You've always reminded me of my grandma, Senator Shirley McMarsh. And you are appreciated. Shout out to Donnell Sessions.
Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Also, Tend to Pat, which is the new name. Racism is costly. Property tax approaching outer space is what happens when trying to funnel as much money as possible to white flight school districts. Many of the increases are to cover shortfalls. Okay, sorry, I thought that was a question, but it's a statement. Pretty deep. Appreciate that comment as well. We can get back to that in a minute. Mama God in the chat is saying, I truly have been struggling to vote for Cavanaugh due to highly interested in hearing from him. Yes, he will be on the 22nd, Wednesday the 22nd. Senator John Cavanaugh, it will be showing up to the show. That's a horrible pixelated picture there. Sorry about that. He will be joining us, and we'll have some more discussion with him. Mama God, appreciate that. It's really interesting to me about how many of the senators we've talked to now that are coming on saying, yeah, the legislature needs help anyway, with or without them, like this, so that it seems to be the consistent so far from the people that we've talked to. So I appreciate that very much. Wanda Lewis in the chat is saying data centers. There's a question I have of the Inland Port Authority. We'll definitely have that brother back and talk to him, brother Gary. Yes, Gary Clark. Appreciate that. Trying to sift through some of the things here. Anthony Rogers Wright. I'm not trying to turn this into the Anthony Rogers Wright show right now. So I was trying to pull out a question. And I think the it's the end. He's talking about the power district still. We can come back to that. It's the end of the public power, and the new beginning of public-private power to accommodate data centers. Yeah, we have been talking a lot about this public-private situation as well. What's your stance on that?
Oh, I don't
It's
like
the
it.
same.
I mean, I think uh, data centers are here, and we have to deal with that reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we have to also make sure that it doesn't come at a it's going to come at a cost to the environment, and we need to mitigate that as much as humanly possible. But it's also, if we're not careful, will come at a cost to consumers, residential in Omaha. And that's been like the big thing about power is that it's we're not run on profits, and so we're run here for the people and making it cost effective, and so those are the things that we need to like really be focusing on, our cost and environmental impact. One thing that if I had more time in the legislature, thank God I do not, but if I did, I would be focusing on looking more heavily into data centers and their relationship with OPPD and the coal plant and why that still is open. Because I think that that is one of the greatest tragedies of our time, is that we still have that open. And so it feels like they're keeping it open for an anticipation of an increased need based on increased data centers. And that's where we really need to like drill down and make sure that isn't happening and demand transparency from OPPD.
That's from this particular subject. I think that's why we keep going back and forth about it, because like he's saying, no misunderstanding. I don't want them regulated. I want them stopped, like Maine is about to do, and like the Bill Bernie Sanders. What did he say? Bill Bernie Sanders and ALC just introduced. So there's two realms I'm always seeing here, is like people that just don't even want to deal with it at all, or the people that are saying they're probably coming. We need to kind of regulate or do something about it. And it sounds
They're
like
here. I mean,
and
Omaha
they're
has
here
like
too,
14.
right?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'd love to stop them. I've been beat up enough on some stances of trying to stop things that I am a little more like, okay, I can't stop that. What can I do? And so, it's not, I would love to stop them, but I can't, and I know that I can't. So I've got to do the most that I can to mitigate the damage. And that's kind of where I am at right now.
Got it. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you
no, all
for your
good.
comments.
Yep. Man, yeah, I definitely appreciate that stance. And I wanted to hear you clearly. You said Omaha already has 14 data centers.
I believe so. I think that's what I said in my opening for my bill. I
Man,
have to go back
okay.
and double check.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure.
it's here. It's here to the point. It's
Oh
here.
yeah, it's here.
Yeah, 10 more than
Yeah.
I thought we had. That's crazy.
Right, exactly. So I appreciate you pointing that out. But again, we are getting long on time. I just had really one last thing to dive into. We were kind of talking about this private public relationship thing, and brings up education. Of course, we just had McMahon come to town. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of conversation about education and funding private schools. And hey, yeah. Let's just go ahead and get into it. What are your thoughts about that? I know there is some removal of some things towards the end of the budget debates, but where are we now as far as education and funding goes in the state of Nebraska?
So for private education, the state is still not funding private education. We do fund, well, now with my bill that just passed, two things. We funded one thing. We do fund textbooks for private schools, and now the state is funding because the funder for the school meals bill ended with its private funds for public meals and public funds for private meals.
Oh my goodness.
So I got a funder to fund the pilot for my school meals program, but they would only fund public meals. That's just what their thing is. And so my colleagues didn't like that. And so decided that we would use state funds for the private school meals, which was really a tiny, like 1% of the cost. So it wasn't very much money. But the reason that we can do that is that it isn't a benefit to the schools. It's directly for the kids. So I guess now we fund three things. So the textbooks, and then any IEP services that a student needs, the state funds those regardless of public or private school. And now this reduced lunch program, pilot program, the state is funding that portion. So it's very different than the vouchers or the tax credits and things like that. But the state of Nebraska is not involved in any funding of private education. So we're still exactly where we've been this whole time.
Okay.
There you go.
And we're one of the only states.
Any comments on, the push to bring that back, even though the constituency voted against it?
Again, elect better people that don't think that the voters are idiots.
Yeah. Speaking of electing,
I'm looking at you, Tony Sorrentino and Brad Von Gilleren, who literally said that the voters didn't know what they were voting for on many of these things.
They actually said that.
Yeah, they said it. They said folks don't know what they're talking about. They just voting. They don't know what they're voting for. They're just voting, and we shouldn't.
In psychology,
that's mind-boggling. Like, it's crazy to say the people who put you in power. They don't know what they're talking. So should you be in power if they don't know what you're talking about?
They voted for you, so maybe you're right.
Speaking of finding the right folks, Maji Miller Jenkins in the chat. Good morning, says,
Hey.
Well, what effort are you making to find an equally progressive candidate to be trained and ready to replace your seat in the future, passing the torch as an active practice we haven't seen from legislature? Yeah, is that a thing that you guys do? Are you involved in the passing the torch that way?
I'm probably more involved than others have been in the past. I've been trying really hard to mentor like freshman senators and teach them about not just how the legislature works, but how like our leadership sort of works. The way that our committees are assigned and there's like these weird sort of procedural things that you don't know about unless you know about them. And so I've worked to try and educate candidates. Like over the last couple of elections, I will try and sit down with candidates and explain it to them and then just be a resource for them. But yeah, I definitely am still going to be doing all of that and doing that with the current batch of candidates, especially after the election in November. But I'm also trying to make sure that my colleagues that are going to be there next year are also doing that. So I've been trying to kind of coach them up because I'm not planning on being in this space after January 7th or whenever the new person is sworn in. So this is it for me.
Yeah. And with that, I definitely want to, the last question, ask you what's next for you then, if this is it for you. But Buddy already knows. I'm reading Buddy's mind on that one.
Oh, I don't know what's next for me.
Okay.
I really have been kind of in survival mode of just like, I got to get through this session, and every day of the session was a fight on a million different topics from minute to minute. And so now I am going to spend the next couple of months just like getting my life in order, taking care of my kids, having summer vacation, helping candidates as much as I can, looking for a job. I'm going to be looking for a job. Give me a job. And it's not going to be in politics, most likely.
Yeah. Time to roll past. Well, you've done a great job. We appreciate it. I realize this is the last time we'll speak to you as senator, probably on live on the air. So yeah, it's one of those moments. So we appreciate all the work that you've been doing this whole time. We appreciate your allyship and you. It's easy for us to appreciate it because you got such a good cosign from such great people like Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney. So
yeah, Senator Spivey's right. I do call people racist on the microphone.
I've seen it.
Hey, sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need to call it
off the microphone. I maybe yelled at a bunch of people because I didn't think they were being kind to Senator Roundtree, and I was not taking it well.
Yeah, we got to have Brother Roundtree on to hear about this from his perspective. We've heard this several times. He's getting a little
He is
mistreated.
such a gift to this state.
Wow.
Just talking to him is like food for your soul. He's amazing.
Senator Roundtree up next. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got, buddy. How about you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of things we can get into, labor, all kinds of things, but we'll cut it off there. Appreciate you for taking the time out of your morning, out of the kids' schedule and things like that to come and speak with us. And again, hopefully, best wishes on what's next for you.
Thank you. I always enjoy talking with you fellas.
Yeah, well, we'll have you back, even if you're not a senator. We'll have you back to talk about some things for sure.
Yeah, well, we got somebody in the chat saying maybe a run for governor, so it seems like the people aren't quite ready to part with you as a public servant just yet. But she's like, don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Also, just to let the people know too, she interviewed us, which is something that doesn't really happen much. And we have the video of that coming soon too, so be looking out for that on YouTube. We'll definitely tag you on it. Yeah, we appreciate you making that offer. That was a fun thing for us.
It was fun.
Totally was. So you'll be hearing a lot more from Senator Machaela Cavanaugh. And in the meantime, between time, we're gonna let her go now. Enjoy this weather. It's supposed to be 85 today, so maybe get outside if you can. Yeah. I don't know how you do with the sun, but maybe get some.
Oh, I completely look like a vampire. I'm completely covered in head to toe.
Gotta put the screen on. It's gonna be 85 out there.
I do.
And contrary to popular belief, black people do that too because
you should.
Get burned. Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be that much sun today. I think it's gonna be enough to be enjoyed. So let's try to enjoy the day in the midst of this chaos. Appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thanks.
See ya.
Peace.
All right. Always a pleasure. Appreciate everybody who came in with some comments and some questions. We'll definitely encourage her to go back, check out the chat, and maybe reach out to you guys on some of those questions that you guys asked there too. So have a one-on-one conversation. Seems like that's needed there. So appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who joined us today. Appreciate everybody who have respect for the guests. And we'll take a quick break and come back in, reset a little bit, and get busy. It is time for us to continue the conversation, wrap the show up on this kind of motivational Monday, this intentional set intentions for the week Monday, which we will do when we get back shortly. So stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. Stay tuned, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All B, buddy to God.
Hey.
Yeah, buddy, I like that. I listen to that song more and more. I like that song more and more. It kind of reminds me of like old this town is coming like a ghost town. I don't know if you remember that song by Madness back in the day, but it's like a hip hop version of this old ska song I used to like a lot. Yeah, I'm realizing more and more how much Boogie is a genius. I got to dig back.
Come on, man. Hey, right near the beach.
Got to dig back into his catalog in a big way. Thanks for everybody who's sticking with us through this second hour. This is definitely where we continue to wrap up some of the conversations that we were having and some of the articles that we wanted to present, but also get loose and talk about how we think and feel about some of these things that are in the headlines and some of the things that we've been talking about as well. So we appreciate your consideration and continued involvement in the chat. Shout out to the chat chimers. Shout out to the ghost listeners. Every time I'm walking around town now, everybody's telling me about the fact that they're tuning in and checking it out. So if you miss any parts of this conversation we just had with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh, which will be probably the last one we will have with her as senator, then definitely go back and check it out on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube as soon as this is over. And then we will maybe put some snippets and things like that in Friends of First Sky Omaha, which is our group page over on Facebook, just so to give you some reminders that we do have past episodes on YouTube. All the episodes that we've ever had pretty much are on YouTube. And you can go back right now and check those out. That might not always be the case. So I highly suggest you take advantage of going back and checking out some of those interviews that you might think is important. We label these interviews with the person's name on the video so that you can kind of dig in and find out, hey, I want to find out what she said this time and what she said last time. Go back and check out some of those previous interviews on First Sky Omaha, the YouTube page. Appreciate that very, very, very much. Well, let's go ahead and move on, buddy. I appreciate you being patient with us and dragging on, going a little further with the interview and some of the other things we talk about. So I know that is cutting into some of the time of the things you wanted to present. So let's go ahead and get back to it. Appreciate it. What's next up?
No, actually, I was able to weave a lot of the stories into the conversation. So a lot of the things that I had kind of lined up, we got into it. We can kind of overview it really quickly for those that might have missed or just not, have caught some of the stories. But of course, we talked about Senator John Cavanaugh, his run, which again, Paul mentioned we will be having him on next Wednesday. I believe it was at like 21st.
Yeah, Wednesday the 22nd.
22nd. So definitely look out for that. I think Mama Guy said in the chat that she was kind of on the fence due to some of the ads. So, it'd be good to hear from him directly. But I am curious, over the weekend, there was that forum. Did anybody catch the candidates forum that included Senator John Cavanaugh and other candidates running for Nebraska Congressional District 2? Again, let us know if you caught that in your take on that situation. Definitely a little better picture as you see on your screen went down.
Crowded. It was a crowded stage, man. A lot of people running.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's actually a lot of people. Like, this is a crowded midterm. Like, there's, we've talked about the 6 to dismiss, but there's way more races than those 6, and there's a lot of candidates in every race. Actually, a lot of them related, which is a whole nother conversation. But definitely make sure you're educating yourself on the candidates. We are just weeks away from the midterm primary primary. And as Senator Cavanaugh, again, just laid out for us, there is a lot at stake at both the state and federal levels. Again, as she's mentioning, and Marlon's kind of questioning about the $500 million deficit, the reality is the states can't handle it. But if we let the federal government continue doing what they're doing, it's going to come down to the states. And we're going to find out very soon that the states actually can't pay for daycare, much to the disbelief of certain people in the Oval Office. Yeah, just wild. Yeah. Wow. But yes. So that is a thing. We are weeks away from that. Again, looking forward to anybody who caught that forum. Also, did you catch the photo op between, yes, you heard it, Linda McMahon and Governor Ellen Pillen, as far as her showcase showing up for this education situation, as again, Pillen still pushing. If you remember, before him, Ricketts, and I believe Ricketts' mom paid for the whole ballot initiative to try to get the private school vouchers on, pushed through, and then the people voted against it. And here Pillen is yet again, next shoulder to shoulder with McMahon, again trying to push this whole Trump agenda of, as we're seeing across the nation, as far as again private school vouchers being pushed.
And when you say McMahon, you talking about this is Linda McMahon,
Vince's wife. Vince's wife, yes. Vince WWF Linda McMahon, yes.
Worldwide Wrestling Federation, Linda McMahon. Wrestling, like we say out here in Omaha, Wrestling Federation. Just a reminder, just in case this is the person running education in the country.
Yeah. I don't know if she's ever taught a class in her life, but
kayfabe, maybe she taught a kayfabe class.
Maybe how to take a bump. Does that
take a hit and keep on? How to take a chair to the face and keep on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. But
moving on
anyway,
from
in
that.
other news,
Wait. Before we get out of there, I just wanted to make a quick reference because we have such a crowded stage up here with people running. I definitely want to give a shout out to Denise Powell, who's been very, very active out here as well. And this is the person who we haven't really talked to her much, but we are planning on trying to get her on the show so we can talk to her about it. She's been endorsed by a whole lot of folks around. It looks like she may even be in the lead right now over John Cavanaugh. This is a
Mm.
post from her page from April the 9th that says that she's in the lead. So we'll definitely be talking to her too, especially since we're going to have Senator John Cavanaugh on the 22nd. We'll definitely be talking about it. I think those are the two that are kind of in the lead right now. So yeah, so just wanted to mention that. But yes, definitely John Cavanaugh coming on. Senator John Cavanaugh, put some respect on his name, coming on the 22nd next Wednesday. We'll be able to speak to him about what's going on with this run as well.
Yeah, and again, the whole idea is that you educate yourselves, and you know that what matters to you in these races, and find a candidate that represents that, not just voting on a name. So again, definitely shout out to the likes of Flatwater, even 89.7, just all the again media outlets taking the time to interview the candidates and try to again make all the voters as informed as possible. So again, yeah, do your own due diligence on that. Big shout out to those of you who are doing that, and if you're not, time to get busy. Time to get busy.
There you go. Appreciate that. We'll move on as soon as we answer this $1 million question. Who got the Indian tacos on Friday?
Hey, RG, I thought you wasn't going. And did you get my man Paul banana pudding?
RG, we already know you. We already know you came through. We already saw the post. Shout out to Lavelle Wells with his Indian taco revival and everybody else that went. Man, appreciate you, RG, supporting. And yeah, man, every time the brother over there Lavelle Wells has a fundraiser, I try to make it. Couldn't this time, had some family duties, but hopefully you went over there and represented.
Yeah, man.
3 plates.
Yeah. Gotta support, man. Brother trying to raise some funds for, the good work that he's doing, and definitely in the face of inflation and all the things going on with all these tariffs, the energy, going up. We all feeling the pinch. Actually, so much so in this last 15 minutes, I want to talk about something else that's not necessarily Nebraska wide. This is actually a national story, but something that might be impacting all of us. And it's definitely in the spirit of following the money. This new gold standard, are we returning to the gold standard in the United States? Are we really seeing the death of the petrodollar in real time? Got to talk about it, and may have to talk about it in later episodes a little deeper, but this is coming out of Nebraska Examiner. Shout out a new gold rush. States are apparently stockpiling gold bars and encouraging gold-backed debit cards in the face of inflation. Again, several states, including Western ones with rich mining histories, have been stockpiling gold as a part of their broader state savings. And this is something maybe Nebraska might need to look into with a $500 million deficit and growing. And according to the article, more states like Texas and Florida have passed a so-called transactional gold law that would invite consumers to save and spend gold through their own accounts. Critics question the need for these bills, and some have panned them as potentially market-disrupting measures. But proponents say that they can help bring gold to the masses and provide ordinary consumers an impromptu protection against the creep of inflation, since gold has generally increased in value over time. Georgia State Senator Marty Harbin, who's actually a Republican, who sponsored the bipartisan legislation last year, says inflation is the carbon monoxide that you can't see, taste, or smell. The state Senate approved the bill, but didn't advance beyond the House. Talking about in Georgia, Harbin said he expects to reintroduce the bill next session. Again, if passed, the bill would establish gold and silver as legal tender and create an electronic payment system in the state of Georgia. Again, something that has already seen in Florida. Paul, what say you?
That's wild. A few weeks back, we talked about golds on this season of Follow the Money. And I think it was Michelle Moreno who hipped us to the fact that Costco is selling gold.
Yeah.
You can just go to the store and buy some gold. So, yeah.
Hey, give me the bouillon.
Would you like that in 10s and 20s? No, I just buy bouillon. So it is kind of interesting. I don't know what none of this means, bro. Like it's just, because who knows what turn. Here's where I'm going with it. Who knows how things are going to turn? So, I just think about this administration. The negotiations fell apart with Iran this weekend, which and he's trying to send ships to block the blockade, and they're over there making billions of dollars by charging people to come through. There's so much that's going on all the time with it, and it doesn't seem to. We don't know what they're gonna do. That's there's no logic to it. I mean, it was already a struggle to figure out the logic to it before, because it's just the nature of numbers and capitalism and the markets and everything else. But for the way that I guess if you're paying attention to if Trump says something, and it's going to change, a lot of his folks are going to go in and invest in some stuff and grab some stuff. So you never know. I'm kind of looking at what is his friends doing? What's his son-in-law doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing? Because that's going to really tell you what's coming next. Also, didn't we read something about one of the countries that have pulled their gold out of the reserves, out of America's reserves? They were like, you ain't gonna keep our gold. We're taking this back. So, I was just thinking about, there's so much to this that it's real crazy that things have gotten so bad from a president who ran on he's a businessman
in 2 years,
and that he
not even 2 years
bring this country back to glory financially,
and he's pretty much tanking the dollar. Like that's it's a whole nother conversation. We could actually easily spend a whole hour or a whole episode on this conversation as far as following the money to that level. But I just find it all very interesting that, these conversations are happening in these kinds of bills. I mean, this is real legislation that's being passed to make, to return the United States, because, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Jekyll Island meeting, and again, United States removing itself from the gold standard. But, here we are.
Yeah.
And brother Terrence Haynes kind of touching right on what I'm talking about. Says this is all a facade. There is no gold left to leverage. We have worthless economic structure. And I think that's the reality. And that's why, I'm laughing and we're joking. And, Michelle Moreno talking about, we sell gold and silver at Costco. She actually says, I'll see if I can get some pictures for you today. I'm not sure if we have gold in right now. And I don't think Costco is the only one that might not have gold in. Y'all remember Fort Knox? What happened to that?
Oh, there ain't been no gold in there since the great day.
I'm saying, what happened to that? I think the reality is, in this season to follow the money, might come to terms with the fact that our whole system is propped up on monopoly money. And the petrodollar, again, is, especially as we see what's going on in the Middle East, it's a house of cards. It's a house of cards.
I'd like to hear you. I like you saying we're creeping up on this thought, because I've been trying to figure out how to creep up on having this conversation about capitalism, period, and getting to what we need to get to when it comes to it, because it always leads us back to what it is that we have to do when it comes to investing in ourselves, building for ourselves, when it comes to investing in other countries, other places, other peoples, when it comes to figuring out what we're doing. Once we get to that viewpoint of, oh, this is all a house of cards. Oh, once you get to where Brother Terrence is saying value is all amid mind game. What's valuable? Because we just went through a period of tokens and I mean, like, when it comes to Bitcoin, which is literally like a made up value, thin air made up value, which is the reason why people like Warren Buffett don't want to invest in it. As if it wasn't already there. We weren't already trading pieces of paper in the first place before all this, which is was supposed to be representative of what gold was in there, and that left in the 70s. So, like, it's all a mind game. What are we going to do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily an economist, but I've done my fair share of research in, fiat notes, quantitative easing, central banking. Look into these things if you don't know these words. If the words that I just said are not familiar to you, please look into these things, because, again, you will see that the reality is the fact that the American economy is built on a house of cards. And it's built on robbing Peter to pay Paul. And what's happening is many nations, the chickens are coming home to roost. And you mentioned Bitcoin. It is quite interesting that not only the Strait of Hormuz. Not only is Iran, trading in yuan, but I believe they're also taking oil in Bitcoin. I believe they are accepting cryptocurrency for the oil.
That's wild.
It is wild. But what's even more wild is if this continues, it's not going to be looking good for us. Like we can easily find ourselves in a situation where the American dollar is worth more being burned to keep us warm than being spent, which has happened in other countries.
Forex. We'll talk about it. I'm going to jump in the chat real quick because I'm tripping on what Michelle Moreno's saying. People be coming through the line buying them. It's like $10,000. What the fudge?
They see the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Who's coming in spending 10 grand on buying some gold right now?
Man, which one you work at? What's the address?
Yeah. She said she got to find out if it's there. I'm going to move up here. I know we're coming to the end of the show, but I want to move up a little bit in the chat and just talk about that. We were talking about that forum earlier. Anthony Rogers Rice says, I think after that forum, the Republicans are licking their chops. Only one Dem Party candidate could even use the word genocide. That is sad and tells you where the Democratic Party is morally. I mean, yeah, some candidates it does speak to them for sure. Also, Kimber Snipes is saying, which is a reminder that things are also ridiculous at the local level too, in addition to the state and federal. I appreciate, yeah, for sure that is most definitely the case. He says, Anthony Rogers Rice says these are all internal polls that mean nothing. We have no idea who's leading. Speaking on that poll that I just put up, that Denise Powell had on her page, on who's leading. Yeah, it's a good question. I would love to find out more about some of the actual numbers and where those can be found as we get closer to that date. But when you think about those kinds of polls, those polls are put in place to kind of make you sway your brain one way or another. Oh, well, she's leading. Let's jump on the winner or whatever the deal. So it definitely is. Go back and find out where they're standing and vote your conscience. Which is something I think we'll probably always suggest on that. Also, Mama Goddess says, sad part is the more he is exposed, the more white nationalists and Zionists work to keep the wool over your eyes. So sad. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely there. Like I said, we don't have enough time to get into it now, but I'm just thinking, what does this mean for, investing in other places, other industries? Brother Terrace Hayes is talking about bartering. He's saying the new wealth is the old standard, bartering. These are now getting into the conversation about what it is that we can do. What is the solution? What is the answer? There's a lot of that going on even in that community, in the rich capitalist community. I'm seeing how much that happens. Some of them don't even go through banks to sell each other properties. Like it's always a barter, even on the highest level when it comes down to it. And it's these institutions and things that are put in place in order to make money from us, which makes us feel like we got to go through banks. We got to go through all these institutions in order to do anything, have anything, when we could just go to each other and help each other out with what each other needs. It feel like a long way from there, but that's the thing. That's the deal.
Message.
Yeah, I gotta pull it. Keenan Ivory Lanes for real. Pops in the chat says, I never understood how people voted for Trump because he was a businessman when he bankrupted every business he ever had. Insane. Yeah, they try to act like bankruptcy is a part of being a businessman, doing business, so on. There's a little bit of truth to that. A person that's out here flipping businesses and hustling. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they win, whatever. He's a great businessman when it comes to making money for him and his family. He's a genius mind when it comes to that.
You read my mind, man. Like, yes, he's actually in that regard. He's great. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Like his family have made billions of dollars since but that's the part I think as Americans missed about hiring a businessman to run our country. Businessmen are in business to make money for themselves. What businessman, care about making you money? Unless it makes him money. Like what are we doing? What are we doing?
He's a vanguard when it comes to that. He is a maverick.
A wizard.
To that.
A wizard.
Any kind of businessman that can manipulate and work the system around in order to make more money and the system already exists is a vanguard when it comes to that. So he's a genius when it comes to business. If you can get somewhere where you can bend the rules in order to make some more money, then it's the ultimate business move to decide what do you think the motivation was back in the day when he said he was going to run for president back in the day? In the 80s, he was like, if I ever ran for president, he was already thinking in terms of that because this country is a business. So if you're going to be a better businessman, make more money for yourself, you're going to have to get into politics some kind of way, pay a politician, vote for a politician, become a politician, and then get in there and manipulate and bend rules. Now, hopefully, some of these judges and some of these people that are supposed to be in these checks and balances will stand up and not continue to let this happen. But so far, everybody getting paid. So why would they?
Because everybody in business.
But Shemila Jenkins is also reminding us not just bartering, mutual aid, using what we have to build power amongst ourselves. I appreciate you reminding us about mutual aid. We continue to talk about that as well. So there you go. Appreciate that.
There's a clip of Chairman Fred on Friends of it's a powerful clip.
Mm-hmm.
And in that clip he said something that's been ringing off in my ears since I heard him say it, as far as we don't fight capitalism with capitalism, we fight capitalism with socialism.
There you go.
And I'll leave that where it is. Go ahead and check out that clip of some Friends of.
Yeah, I put that clip in there, man. I watched that about 10 times before I said, let me go ahead and post this because
Man.
Yeah, it is really powerful. I wish I would have grabbed it. Matter of fact, maybe I can right here. Let's see real quick. I think it is definitely something that we need to be hearing and get to this part of the conversation. More importantly, get to that part of the conversation is kind of like where I'm at with that. Like, if we don't get to that part of the conversation, we're kind of in trouble. Let's see if I can share this real quick.
Black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descents, they had them caught up in movements based on racism when the Black Panther Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think you fight fire with fire best, we think you fight fire with water best. We're going to fight racism, not with racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity. We said we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. We stood up and said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state's attorneys like this and reactionary state's attorneys like Hanrahan with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions where all of us people are getting together and have an international proletarian revolution.
All power to the people. Shout out.
All power to the people.
All power to the people. Shout out. With that, man, the brother kind of dropped the mic on that for us at 9:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I love that you reminded me about that clip. Let's definitely dig in.
We got to. That's where the conversation has to go. That's where it has to go. Because as we see, these systems are crumbling before our very eyes. What we gonna build next?
Appreciate you guys' comments today. Appreciate everybody's deep discussion on some of these matters. Please, if you missed any parts of the interview with Senator Machaela Cavanaugh, go back and check it out on YouTube, or any parts of this conversation that happened after she left on some of the topics that we're going to continue to talk about. We're going to move on within the conversation, progress in the conversation about some of these things so we can get to some answers as well. And I love the direction that we're going already. So I appreciate you guys' comments. Bartering, mutual aid. I'm thinking about fighting fire with water, not fire with fire, as Chairman Fred just said. So we got to talk about it. We got to definitely talk about it. Appreciate everybody's comment. Appreciate everybody coming onto the show, and I'm respecting the guests as well. And just appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Let us know. Please reach out to us and let us know who's listening. The ghost listeners, sometimes you got to check in as well. Let us know that you're out there. Please hit us up at Friends of First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page, group page, or also you can hit us up on an email directly at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Love to hear from you and love to hear what it is that you are taking away from the conversations that we're having here. What kind of impact are we having? What kind of effect are we having? Is it making you think? Are you learning anything? Let us know. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated if you would come through. And also do us a favor and connect to the weekly wrap as well. The newsletter will be putting a lot of surveys and things in there as well in order for us to kind of get on the same page too. Here's the link to that. Please hit us up. It drops every Friday at 4:00, the weekly wrap newsletter. And also let us know there too. What kind of information are you looking forward to when you come in? Has there been information on the newsletter that has helped you, sent you off in a direction that helps what it is that you're working on too? Again, we want to constantly be reviewing these things so we can make sure that we keep on having the right conversations here on the show. With that, buddy, what you got for the people?
Man, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, man. Hopefully, again, we've caused more clarity than confusion on today's show. Again, trying to get to that first sky, that first level of understanding so we can build and grow together. That's what it's all about, man. The people, the people, the people. I love the people. I am the people. We the peoples, man. So, again, hopefully we can do this again. Same time, same place. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul?
In the morning.
Hey. Again, we have a jam-packed schedule of guests over the next couple of weeks, man. Of course, our a monthly meetup with the mayor coming up on Friday, so definitely look out for that. But in the meantime, between times, several other guests. Again, we as we mentioned, Brother John Cavanaugh coming up next week, and got other guests coming up in the meantime, man. So again, we're still doing this in the thick of it. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place. Paul B. Take it away.
Man, we got Way of Life Warlow that's going to come and talk to us about some of his adventures here on Wednesday. So stay tuned for him. If you don't know about this artist, you'll learn about him on Wednesday. I see brother RG is saying catch y'all on Wednesday. Hopefully this heavy leg day at the gym tomorrow morning doesn't put me in a wheelchair by the next time I talk to you, man. Be careful. Be careful, bro. I'm glad you went and represented. I know you said I said he said the scale won't allow me to go get them Indian tacos, and you went to go get them and you double plated it. Appreciate you. Proud. Also, we do have the monthly meetup with the mayor that is happening on Friday. So that is this week as well, and highly anticipated talk with the mayor as well. I can't wait to talk to him about KFAB.
Man,
I'm just messing with him. And then we have a Senator Cypher again on Monday with Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Ashley Spivey. Shout out to her. And then, of course, Wednesday the 22nd, we'll be speaking with Senator John Cavanaugh. So that's what's up. Really appreciate everybody who is following along with us and giving us suggestions on guests and hooking up some guests as well. As a matter of fact, we will have Melanie Williams, who's also running for office as well. That's coming on next Friday, the 24th. So shout out to Anthony Rogers Wright, help us hook that up, and everybody who's been contributing to this the guest list that you want to hear, people that you want to hear from too. If you want to hear from anybody else, especially if there's senators in your area that you'd like to speak to directly, and we have access and might be able to talk to them, hit us up. Let us know on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page, or hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. With that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate you allowing us to go 6 minutes past the agreed upon time. We'll see you on Wednesday. Shout out to the Maha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Really appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to our special guest today, Senator Machaela Cavanaugh. And shout out to the supporters, the ones who are the $10 people, $25 people, $50 people a month who are helping us continue these conversations and build out more news according to what it is that you are needing to hear, and also to be able to help you tell stories and let your voice be heard as well. This work that we're doing, it keeps on getting more important and more intense and we're finding more strategies to try to do better with that as well. So we appreciate everybody who's been supporting that as well. If you would like to help support us, then please go to First Sky Omaha at firstskyOmaha.com and hit the join button and become a member or a sponsor of the station. Or you can hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. If you are a person who has a business or you want to promote something, we also do marketing as well. As you can see, we show some of the people that we're working with on the breaks and also on our social media. So if you would like us to do that and have you on, talk about it, we'll definitely send you a rate sheet and we can talk about doing some business together. We'd love for you to be a part of that. It's another way you can help support us. So appreciate it. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care. Enjoy this 85-degree weather. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.
Hey, before we get off the air, I just wanted to give a shout out. I miss Pops saying thanks for a great Monday morning. See you Wednesday. Thanks, Pops. Also, Alan Faison. Thanks, Cuz. Says another great show. Thank you. And RG says, had to, man. Them tacos was calling me like Pookie. Y'all got any more of them? them Indian tacos, banana pudding. We'll see y'all on Wednesday, y'all. Peace.